What's up guys, and welcome to the channel. Today's very exciting because we're finally going to start modifying my MR2. We're going to start off with a bucket seat. I do want to be honest though, it's kind of nerve-wracking and I don't actually know why. I mean, maybe it's just the fact that the car is going to change. I mean, I've had this thing for the better part of 5 years, and besides rims, it's essentially stayed the same. Anyways, the seat I ended up going with is a Corbeau FX1 Pro. So I already undid the box, but I haven't fully pulled it out yet. So let's see it. Ooh. It's really light, actually. Big. I mean, well, it's small because it's a bucket seat, but like kind of big for the box. It's packaged nice, which I'm actually a fan of. I have gotten things in the past that were not packaged very well, so I ended up receiving damaged goods, which sucks because like this stuff's expensive. Even though this is a cheap seat at about $350, I mean, that still adds up. Yeah. Oh, that looks so nice. This is freaking awesome. One of the reasons why I went with this seat is because it's a side mount. I'll be able to adjust the angle. Being able to adjust the angle is really cool if you're a tall guy. Luckily I'm short, so I shouldn't have this issue, but if you're really tall, you can, have the seat sit a little further back like this, over exaggerating of course, so you can sit in there with a helmet on. In terms of comfort, it's actually perfectly fine. So it fits up to a 36-inch waist. I feel like I could definitely drive it. It's going to hold me in well. One of the things I am curious about is how comfortable it's going to be on long drives, because like bucket seats are never comfortable on long drives, if that makes sense, but for a bucket seat they can be comfortable, so it's all relative. Luckily though, this isn't a daily driver, so it's not something I'm worried about, considering its primary purpose is going to be going fast, or attempting to go fast. Really can't go very fast with the 5S. The next step is going to be removing the factory seat, which should be pretty straightforward. Well guys, we got the seat out. I'm actually really surprised that underneath it wasn't that dirty. As you can see, I vacuumed it out. It still definitely needs to be a little bit cleaner. As you guys can see, it's still a little bit dirty up there. So I'll probably go ahead and get my good vacuum from home and vacuum it out later, and then shampoo the carpet. Oh Lord, is this beat up. Oh, dang. As I mentioned, I drove this thing a lot. As you can see, a tear happened here, which happens to every MR2 I've ever seen that gets driven a lot. Yeah, it's... Other than that, though, I think if I was to clean it up, it wouldn't be too bad, and I could maybe make some type of stand to use it at home. I am going to be stealing the seat belt buckle, though. Other than that, I'll be leaving it alone. Oh, and a deep clean. I don't like my stuff dirty. So for those who are curious, pretty much the biggest difference between these two is the fact that, well, there's a couple actually. This is fixed back, so there's no like ability to recline it like this one. And then the other thing is the simple fact that the bolstering is a lot more aggressive, so it's going to hold me in better when I'm doing my autocross track days versus this, where I really have to brace myself. All right guys, so we're going to start putting the seat together. We're going to put everything like loosely. I'm going to put it in the car just to see how it fits and then make adjustments from there. I do think I'm probably going to have to drill into the seat brackets, or the seat brackets, just because I need to be a little bit more forward than probably most people would have to. Next thing we're going to do is attach the seat brackets. What I did was I got some MR2 specific seat brackets from Prime MR2, and the reason I went with them is, well, they were super cheap. It was $150 for the pair, so that's the driver's side and passenger side. Just as a comparison, Corbeau charges like $140 for theirs, and even though they say they sell a passenger side and driver's side specific one, it really doesn't work out that way. Every single one I've gotten for the passenger side fits the driver's side, but does not fit the passenger side, so you always have to modify it. The other thing I like has to do with these tabs. So on the back side of the Corbeau ones, the tabs actually come down and then back, versus these ones just go straight out, which is gonna allow the seat to sit a little bit lower. Here's the driver's side. Probably the only thing I would complain about is that So I'm not a fabricator and I acknowledge this, so I couldn't do better welds than this, but it's just the fact that the welds are inconsistent. I will say, do I think it's a safety issue? No. They look like they're penetrating good and everything. It's just, I don't know, I guess it's a classic case of you get what you pay for. But as long as I don't have to modify these, I'm gonna be happy and I really won't care. Also, these do come with hardware for each seat, which is super nice. All right. So my immediate thought is that with how reclined it is, I think it actually might work well for me. So one of the issues I have with my other car is the fact that I have to be closer because, you know, I got to be able to reach the pedals, but I'm not able to recline the seat back, which is putting me super close to the steering wheel. So it gets a little bit uncomfortable. Well, guys, first thing that's coming up is the simple fact that I'm actually sitting up really high. My head hits, so I'm gonna have to address that. Try to get it lower on these seat brackets. My issue is this right here. So as you guys can see on this side here, I was able to bring it down a hole and then it barely clears there. But over here, I'm not able to do that. It's down one hole, but it rubs up against there. So that's an issue. Well guys, I don't think this seat's really gonna work out. So I found a position where I can grab the pedals, I can easily grab the steering wheel. Probably the biggest thing that bothers me is how high it is. So even with the seat reclined pretty far back, I'm in a position where I can easily tap my head on the ceiling or the roof. Now, I don't have a helmet on, so imagine with the helmet how much like worse that's gonna be. That actually kind of hurts. So in a nutshell, I'm gonna have to go to the drawing board and come back to it. In case anyone was wondering, it really comes down to these little bumps because there's some on the back side there. And because of that, I can't get the bracket even lower because it starts to hit this. So if those weren't there, I'd be able to get this lower and I wouldn't have an issue. What I'm gonna look into is just seeing if I can get the stock seats reupholstered. I mean, this car is gonna be driven to and from the track and it's not meant to be a hardcore race car like the other MR2 is. And if I can get it custom reupholstered, what I can have them do is put in more side bolstering so the seat holds me in better when I'm doing my track days and stuff like that. Also, at the same time, I'll make sure to get the color changed because even though the blue has its, I don't know how to describe it. It has this certain thing about it that I really like because it's totally 90s. I would much rather have a black interior, so I'll switch the seats over to black at the same time. We got ASUS coming in. Oh, those brakes are squeaking really bad. When the car broke down the other day, that's actually what he was coming over here to look at because we weren't sure if a rock got stuck in there or something, but the brakes, they squeak bad. How's she running? Car's going good?
Yeah, oh, and the cold start problem I told you about, but that's like a 30-second problem.
Yeah, well, it could just be that wire.
Yeah.
So some of the wiring does need to be fixed up on this, but it's a 25-year-old car, so that's kind of expected.
Yeah, outside of that, I mean, the brakes haven't been squeaking outside of, like you heard just now.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
They've been squeaking since day one, and like I said, we thought maybe a rock or something was stuck in them, so we'll look at that later.
So yeah, just like small things, but nothing like I need to worry about it.
Yeah, well, there's bird poop on there.
Yeah, that really annoyed me. Also, the car's registered now in Oregon, so I'm waiting on title and plates.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it can be kind of a pain sometimes, but luckily it was easy for you.
It's true.
Let's see how do you like it?
This is surprisingly comfortable, actually.
Oh, well, in case anyone was curious, ASUS just came to check out the seat because obviously I'm not going to be using it, so we'll see if he wants it for his car. But tell me what you think too. Should I just reupholster the seats? I could also go with just like a side mount only seat because like if I got like, let's just say a Sparko Sprint or something like that, I wouldn't have the issue that I'm having with the FX1 Pro. Anyways, see you guys in the next video and thanks for watching.